Studios in Brea, California, here is the Doyledin podcast.
Now, welcome to the Doyledin podcast. I'm your host, Drew, joined by my dad right here. Not Deadpool, but the guy next to me. And we're here to talk about Saturday night's main event. More specifically, Saturday night's main event on December 13th, 2025. 4 matches, which I think is the normal for Saturday night's main event, right? It's usually 4 matches.
Yeah, short and sweet, just a filler show, but usually something happens. It's always been one of those shows that is thrown in there just to fill in the gap, but also between pay-per-views or PLEs, but also, present something interesting. And usually shit goes down, so it's
okay.
4 match.
Yeah. And what were your overall thoughts on this Saturday night's main event? I mean, this is a big one. This is it's John Cena's last anything with WWE as a performer. So
that's the one we've all been waiting for, right? I mean, it's the one that anybody who's got any interest in the wrestling industry, even if you're not a huge WWE fan, maybe AEW or other promotions, but you're still going to tune in and to see, one of the biggest superstars ever in the history of the industry go out in a blaze of glory. So the meltdown after it on social media was hilarious. I love it. So many people who just don't understand squat about the industry. Even people who are retired pro wrestlers, they just don't get it. They just honestly have zero freaking clue about the finish and how it was the right way to go. But more so, just because you don't like it doesn't mean you're right or they were wrong. And that's one thing that really stood out on social media is how many people were just blasting WWE because they were wrong in what they did. And they know better. And what you did was not the right thing because I don't care if that's how the industry was in the 80s and the 70s and even the 90s. This is now, and that's not what we wanted to see. Like a bunch of this petulant little kids who didn't get their way, It's so pathetic. Last show, I even thought that maybe they'll have Cena go over and then Gunther get some, it doesn't matter. We all have our thoughts and opinions on how it could go or how maybe we would have booked it. But at the end of the day, no matter what, number one, it's Cena's career, not ours. And we're privileged to be able to watch him perform over the last 25 years. And it's the WWE's product. So it's really up to them. And you can really say, I didn't like it or I did like it. That's cool. No problem with that. That's your opinion. But you don't get to say that they were wrong in what they did. They did what they felt was right for them. And I don't care how much you paid for a ticket to a WWE show. You can't go to a wrestling show and be upset that you didn't get what you wanted as far as results and matches. First of all, they're predetermined backstage. They don't send out a survey to little ticket holders. How would you like us to finish this match so we can keep you happy?
Don't give them ideas.
Oh, my God. But, for these guys to go, well, that's not how I wanted to see it. It's like, then don't go to the show. It's that simple. Wrestling is a live performance. And, even though they have a lot of the results predetermined already, there are some results that change on a dime, depending on the crowd reaction. We've seen that happen many times. And, even JBL talks about one where him and Eddie were having a match. I think it was him and Eddie. And his promo that he cut before the match got him so much heat with the crowd because they were in Eddie's backyard. And he ripped on the Texas crowd and the Hispanics and all that stuff. And it was just like, it was a great promo that got such great heat. And Vince changed the finish before the match even started. But the guys were already out in the ring.
Wow.
that's just the way it goes, and it worked out perfectly because now you have this heat-seeking heel who's just, on fire. And that's what they did with Gunther, Cena's leaving. Cena gets the tradition of the industry. Just because others have forgotten about it in the last 10 years doesn't mean it should be gone, right? So Cena did the right thing for him. Whether I agree with it or not, I respect it and I appreciate it. And, it was a good match. It started off nice and slow, built up to a faster pace, got things going a little more aggressively. And then towards the end, it was, oh, he's got him. Oh, no, he doesn't. Now he's got him. Oh, no. Oh, shit. It was back and forth with some, some attitude adjustments. And, of course, then the sleeper hold. And, it was a good roller coaster of emotions for the last match because at certain points, I still wasn't sure how it was going to finish. And when the finish happened and Cena tapped out, I was like, wow, okay, interesting. But I wasn't, oh my God, that's not how I wanted it to go. It's like, get over it, you over emotional children. This is an industry that continues on with or without John Cena. And Gunther is now the biggest heel in the industry, like it or not. And, what he did was phenomenal. He played it to the hilt, going all the way up from, last Raw, his promo, and gave it a great match and looked like a super villain in there. And, I thought the finish was great. I thought it worked. It wasn't what I was expecting, and that's fine. That's what they wanted to do, and it was like, okay, cool. I see what they did, and they built Gunther up, and gave Cena a great farewell, and then there was this whole, giving him the 2 belts in the ring, and that's so ridiculous. And well, they did the same thing with Hogan when Hogan retired. Rock came out and Cena came out actually. And they both gave him the titles to hold for a bit. It was the last time you're going to get to hold these belts,
Because it was the only belts he hasn't held, right? Wasn't that kind of like Cena?
Hogan? Cena?
Those are he hasn't held those specific belts, though.
He's held every belt. He's held every title.
No, I know, but not those belts.
Oh, the newer ones? Yeah. I guess not. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right, but the significance of, you're the GOAT, the guy who held these belts and brought prominence to this company for so long, and here's the last, your last hurrah with these belts.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a nice touching moment, and that's something that I think we'll see continue down the road with other people. But yeah, what did you think of the finish? What did you think of the main event and Cena losing his last match?
Well, I understand people's dislike for the finish. I understand I understand how people can be upset from it, but like what we talk about on the show, it's always long-term storytelling, and this is just another stepping stone for Gunther to be that villain that, I don't know, I think we're going to have a babyface take out Gunther that that's not even in the limelight right now, that we don't even know. I think somebody else is going to come in and take out Gunther. Maybe somebody from NXT that they want to build up or something. But I think this is the perfect opportunity for WWE to have that top heel. We have a top babyface. It's Cody Rhodes. It's, who else? CM Punk, I guess, if you want to call it that. But we don't have a top heel, and Gunther is going to be that top heel, that just unstoppable force that we'll see. And the reason I think it works so well is because Gunther has such an old school wrestling style. And that's what the match really reminded me of, is old school wrestling. I mean, we started the show, started Doyledin with, watching some old school wrestling and then talking about it. And, the format has changed a little bit. Now we're talking about current stuff. But nonetheless, what I'm trying to say is before we started talking about that current stuff, we were watching the old stuff and I was getting more familiar with it because of it. And seeing the Gunther and Cena match, it just reminded me of those kinds of matches. And I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic finish, and just to have Gunther be that guy to make Cena submit is just, I think it's fantastic. And everybody being upset about it, I think that's how you're supposed to feel. I think that's the point. And I think people are getting too wrapped up into their feelings and instead of thinking about the bigger picture. But that's what I think. That's what I think.
Absolutely. So pause real quick.
Yeah. And we're back. All right.
Yeah.
Now
anyway,
that we've given our thoughts on the John Cena match, I mean, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, no, just, it just blows my mind, like, again, even the people who have been in this industry, like former wrestlers who retired, so-called journalists on X, just bashing the finish. It's like, you don't get to decide. None of us get to decide this. We just gotta, hey, did we like it or not? Okay, cool. And if you didn't like it, just say you didn't like it. But to say that was wrong and WWE screwed this up, and it's like, no, they didn't. They didn't. They did it the way Cena wanted to do it. And he is, above all else, is the person who should have final say in this. It's his 25-year career. He has made this company hundreds of millions of dollars while making millions of dollars for himself. So he had every right to go out how he wanted to go out. And I'm sure, WWE had a say in it. And they came to an agreement, and if it's not something that Cena didn't want to do, he wouldn't have done it.
Yep.
And he'd have that right. So everybody needs to get off their freaking high horse and stop thinking they have some clout in this industry when they just have a podcast like we do, and don't have any say or any history in the business, and have zero clout when it comes to a show, and just enjoy for what it is. This is the problem with social media and these guys is like that, and they all sound so loud, and it's like, come on, guys,
yeah,
it's done. Now move on and take it for what it is.
Well, I mean, you look at it the other way, right? If Cena were to win, what would that even do? What would that even do?
I would kill Gunther.
It would kill
the
Gunther.
Guy who's staying.
Yeah. And
he's the guy who lost Cena.
There's no positive for anybody other than the people who, convince themselves to spend buttloads of money to be in that theater for Cena winning. There's no positives to it.
Right.
So I really don't, see how people can genuinely be upset. I mean, booing in the theater because Gunther won, sure, that's okay. I mean, you're supposed to do that,
Absolutely.
But to actually be upset and to actually like let it affect you is, I feel like that's something different entirely. That's a mental illness right there. I mean, come on.
I'll never understand how people get so worked up over a sporting event. Like, gosh, I mean, look at me. My teams are horrible, right? I mean, and my Angels suck. Right, Notre Dame didn't make the playoffs. I didn't get upset over that. It's like, it is what it is. Move on. Well, raising my blood pressure over this kind of stuff that makes zero sense. It doesn't change anything. And my Colts have fallen apart. It's like, yeah, you go like, oh, for crying out loud, come on, man. But then you move on. I mean, there's way more important things in life to be thinking about and to be upset about than a show that you have zero control, or a sport you have zero control over. I mean, I just don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, if it was, if we agreed with them, I mean, I think we would, still be, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? We would still be cordial, I guess, with how we go about it. We wouldn't be, like these people. I'm sure there's people who are going to not even watch WWE anymore because of it. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, but I feel like those people are probably the outliers. But I don't know. I don't think it's that big a deal. I think it was a great match. It was a good match to end on for Cena's career, in my opinion, and it it's gonna pay off in the long run.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and I don't think
Good
you
way
can
to
say
go.
the same about that towards any of the other matches on at Saturday night's main event. You know,
No. I mean, you know, the first match was Cody Rhodes and
Oba Femi.
Oba Femi. I don't watch NXT, so this is my first time really coming across this dude.
I didn't even watch the match.
Yeah, big Jack dude. Looks good in the ring. You know, the promos might hurt him. He needs a mouthpiece because it is hard to understand him being from, I think, Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I didn't know.
yeah, so,
I don't know who this guy is. I've never
but hey,
never
it
seen him.
was a decent match. And then in comes Drew McIntyre, and I was kind of like, okay. It was a very weird finish. And that's not how I would have wanted. No, but I thought that was kind of a flat finish. It kind of didn't really go over well with the live crowd, and I would have maybe done it a little differently with that, because you know I hadn't seen Drew involved with either of these guys, so for him to come out there, the first match of the show was kind of like it's kind of weird, you know.
Yeah.
So I would have had him come down to ringside and just kind of, you know, loiter around the ring for a little bit, kind of pique people's interest, like, oh shit, what's going to happen here? Like, you know, and then make it maybe seem like he's going to jump Cody, but then jump the other guy or jump the other guy and then jump Cody, you know, or at least play it up a little bit, build it up just a little bit. But it was kind of out of left field. And I think that the crowd was very confused with it. But other than that, it was a decent match. I think Cody got a burst eardrum because he was bleeding all over the place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it seemed like he was fine because he was out there later and it was all cleaned up. So
Yeah, I'm over Cody Rhodes. Like, you know,
he's got to turn heel.
It's got to turn heel or something. You know, give the belt to Drew McIntyre. He deserves it, and I would like to see Drew McIntyre's title run. And that I think that would be entertaining. But
yeah, I mean, he had one during COVID, maybe.
It wouldn't matter because I don't watch SmackDown. So
yeah.
So
Same.
and so that was what Cody Rhodes, and then next was Sol Ruka versus Bayley.
Great match, by the way.
Okay,
great match. Bayley, you know, the veteran in there, she really helped Sol Ruka. You know, I'm not saying that she needs help in there, but you know, always with a veteran and a younger person coming up to the next level.
Yeah,
you need some guidance in there, and so she was really good with Sol Ruka, and Sol Ruka's tremendous talent and phenomenal. I think in the ring, she's got a huge future ahead of her. I think she's going to be the future of the women's division, and yeah, this was a great match, and for her to go over on Bayley, you know, good job, Bayley. Where's the outrage there?
Nah, they're women. Who cares? AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater.
This one I did not really watch, nor did I really care about.
I didn't see any of these matches, but John Cena versus Gunther.
Yeah, well, this match, I mean, it's again the tags. It's like, come on, do something better. And it looks like they are, but putting Usos back together, and then you know the New Day and all that stuff. More established teams are actually teams, you know, that you can believe in. This AJ Styles team and Dragon Lee just has never really appealed to me, and I believe it should be going away pretty soon. They'll drop the belts to somebody here in the next month.
Maybe
and
the Usos.
Maybe the Rumble, you know.
Maybe the
Usos.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you want to turn the Usos heel, I think that's the way to go. You know, but
and then
I think what we saw on Raw, AJ needs to come away from that, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. That's what I was going to talk about, but we'll get to that when we talk about Raw. But yeah, I don't. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, I think it reminds me of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. Like it's just kind of like two different kinds of people on a tag team, you know.
Right. Which can work if you present it that way. Like we had X-Pac and Kane back in the day, right? But we put them together with the emphasis on like they're so different. We're going to put them together because one's a big giant red machine and one's a high flying, DX guy, and you knew the differences, and that's why it worked so well. But when you put them together with just hey, this is a great tag team, and this is, you try to make it something like it's like the Heart Foundation or the Rockers or something like that. It's kind of like, no, it's not. It's definitely not. So I mean, I think it got over for wet minute, but other than that, I think it's time to give somebody else a shine here with the belts.
And hopefully excel this tag team division that should be doing a lot better than some other divisions. But yeah.
But then so that was pretty much it. And of course we had the whole Cena thing at the end, which we already discussed, and went off the air with Cena giving the salute, and I think Stu capturing his last moment there was nice.
Yeah.
And Stu doesn't get enough credit, man. He's been there since before I was even there.
Dang.
I mean, he was the one, always in there with Austin and Bubba. I think Bubba's still there too. Bubba's another camera guy who might do more of backstage stuff though.
Gotcha.
But they've been there, man, 26, 27 years maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean. So that's just think about it, right? So Stu, the camera guy, for example, he's filmed The Rock, Austin, Angle, Hogan, Brett, Sean, Hunter, all those guys.
Wow.
What a career he's had as a camera guy. I mean, and he's done such amazing work. So he deserves a lot of credit too. It's awesome to see.
You think they'll do something for them when it's their time to retire?
Oh, they got to go in the Hall of Fame. There's definitely like Stu and Bubba. I wish they put Mark Eaton in there, who was the timekeeper for years in WWE. He used to throw Austin the beers back in the day. But he was there for years. Even before that, God, he took a super kick from Shawn Michaels during the Iron Man match with Brett and Shawn back at WrestleMania. What was it? 12, 13. I can't remember. So he was there a long time too, and he got released. And Jim Johnson, who did all the music back in the day, before they went the whole, popular music groups route. But I know it didn't end on good terms, and hopefully they can smooth that over with the new ownership and all that. But he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as well. There's a lot of guys that make that show work that you don't see on camera, and they deserve credit. And to put those guys in the Hall of Fame I think, is very important.
Yeah. So obviously Cena's going in the Hall of Fame this year,
obviously,
or next year, I guess. Whatever. I'm already in 2026 mode. Who do you think there is also going to be in the Hall of Fame this year?
Jeez, I don't know, man. Maybe Cena will request Stu to go in the Hall of Fame at the same time as him. That would be cool, and that's something that Cena would do. He's such a selfless dude.
Yeah.
But
who do you think will Cena have induct him into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I could see him wanting Vince. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, that final video they showed when Hunter was on the ring apron with him, they had a clip of Vince on there, was surprising and awesome to see.
I was watching Cena's reactions that whole time, and it looked like that was what got him to break.
Yeah,
that's what got him to cry.
It's amazing how close people can get to Vince when they're at Top Dog, because Vince is not just a promoter. He genuinely cares for the talent, and especially if you're the top dog, I mean, he's going to take you under his wing and teach you all the simple little things that work in wrestling. And you ask Taker, Cena, Austin, Rock, as much as he won't admit it, Brett, Sean, Hunter, and he finally admitted it, more so than he used to, Hogan. And they're all top guys who made, a lot of money in the industry being the top guy, but also helped create a huge following for the company. But Vince is the guy who really, helped mold a lot of what they do out there and when to do it. It's a kind of like timing as a comedian,
Yeah.
And Vince taught a lot of the guys that, and he, you can hate him all you want or judge him all you want, but without Vince, this industry is not what it is today. And you can say, well, Hogan, well, cool, but who gave Hogan the stage?
Mm-hmm.
Who gave Austin the stage? Who gave Cena the stage? Who gave Cena that second chance when he was almost getting released? Some people don't even know that back in 2002, he almost got released because the gimmick wasn't working. And then, I don't know if you know the whole story, where they're in Europe and he's on a tour bus with some of the guys who are doing little battle raps or whatever you call it.
Oh yeah, he
freestyle.
talked about this on Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Yeah, he goes, yeah. So
I haven't watched that yet, so
yeah, it's good.
yeah. And Stephanie heard it, and Stephanie's like, because he was outshining everybody.
Yeah.
Because he used to do that. Because he's a huge fan of rap, always was, and so Stephanie heard it, and then she's like, well, how do you want to try and implement that? And it's like, fuck yeah, let's go. And the rest is history, right?
Yeah.
And then his brother is the one who came up with he didn't come up with it, but he told him, hey, do that, I don't know if you know that or not. Did they mention that? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that comes from, and a lot of people say, well, his brother didn't make it up. It's like, no, he didn't say his brother made it up. I mean, I don't know what he said in the Joe Rogan thing, but I know Tupac Shakur had a song called "You Can't See Me" or something like that, and he did that in a song, and that's where his brother, because him and his brother watch and listen to rap, so his brother said, hey, why don't you do that based on the Tupac, video or whatever it was, and that it just stuck,
Mm-hmm.
Did he talk about Five Knuckle Shuffle?
I don't think so. No.
So, and this is where, Vince has always been that lovable grandpa kind of guy, as smart as he is. And so Five Knuckle Shuffle is another, term for jerking off. Well, Cena came up with that name for his move, and Vince didn't get it at all. So like, I love that name. Go with it, And so it's like, yeah. So the joke was on Vince there for that, but
that's funny. That's hilarious.
when he found out what it really meant, it was too late and it was already over. And I still think to this day, a lot of people don't even know that's what it refers to.
Yeah,
but
they don't.
Yeah, so,
I didn't.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, so it's. There's a lot that went into the making of John Cena and how it evolved over the years. And, again, Vince getting the platform, he brought the talent, and, magic was made.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, it's going to be very rare to get similar events to that nowadays, just because everything's so ran like a tight ship, where I feel like they're not going to give these wrestlers, certain wrestlers, the room to mess around with their own stuff, like they gave Cena or things like that. They saw the potential and they're like, all right, this gimmick, let's see what you can do with it, And I feel like we're not going to see that with the current wrestlers. I don't know.
I mean, look what we're seeing with Braun Breaker. I mean, Seth gets hurt and it's like, okay, let's give Braun the mic and put him as the top dog in the group and see what you can do.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you have someone like Triple H there, who again studied under Vince, as far as not even just a talent being directed by Vince, but also learning the industry and the business side of things under Vince and alongside Steph. He's got, I think, the same mentality as Vince. And, a lot of people don't give him a fair shake. So anything that goes wrong, anything they don't like, Triple H is a piece of shit. Like the whole Cena thing is that, the people that are upset about it, like little children, are mad at Hunter, and it's always, you got to blame somebody, right? So he's the guy. Instead of saying, well, if it was Cena's idea, why not blame Cena?
Yeah.
Regardless. But Hunter, learning under Vince and we've seen a lot of what Vince would probably do recently. I think, again, I mentioned this last episode, that I think Triple H is getting more control and more freedom creatively, because these last couple of weeks are very not Attitude Era-esque, but very pro wrestling-esque.
I would agree.
Like we talked about the promos, the backstage stuff, what was missing, because I think we had, and now, the TKO guys trying to dictate what was going to be out there, and it wasn't working. So now we have it back in the right hands, it seems, and Hunter's the guy, and give him, to get on his back about the whole Cena thing, I think is just wrong.
Are you afraid that because of the backlash we're seeing from fans, TKO is going to view it as something completely different than it should be viewed?
No, because I guarantee you nothing changed as far as ratings for Raw. If anything, it probably went up.
Okay.
Because now people want to tune in to see what's going to happen with Gunther.
Yeah.
Whether they want to admit it or not, that's exactly what happened. And I can tell you right now, I'll put a wager on it that the ratings or the streaming, whatever the numbers you call it for on Netflix, are up this week because of that main event.
Yeah.
And then you had, might as well go into Raw, right? Are we going to go into Raw?
Yeah, we can go into Raw right now.
And how it opened with Gunther. And, even people criticizing that, but they're watching. Some people who were bitching and complaining about the finish on Saturday night's main event and how WWE sucks now, and that they're commenting on what happened on Raw, which means they're still watching. So It got them riled up enough that they want to see what's going to happen on Raw, and they want to see the fallout of this, which is perfectly how it was played. And, criticizing, see, Gunther got out of the ring. He couldn't even stand in there. He had to get out of the ring and go back again. That's the point. Some of the stuff I'm reading is just like so insane. And
it feels like they haven't took the time to actually watch a wrestling match.
Or understand how psychology works. One thing, I was always taught that there was psychology, and I didn't grasp it fully till later. But it's psychology. It's like, okay, you're pissing them off. You said what you said about Cena, call him a bitch, and then you leave. And now I hate you. Go on, get out of here. And now you're going to come back. Oh, what's that? This guy's coming. Fuck. Yeah. He's driving the people nuts. And then he leaves and he comes back. And it's like, holy moly.
I thought that was great.
That was great. He got he got everybody heated.
I was hoping he would kind of do, just to get some more heat, is do a little like hand motion like Jey Uso and then go back into the ring.
That would have been funny.
I thought that would have given him lots of heat if he would have done that.
Yeah.
But he did tap out against Jey Uso, so maybe that's why they didn't have him do that.
Yeah. But of course, then he's told to get out of the arena, right? And the cameras follow him, so you know something's coming. And there's AJ Styles,
On his
and
car, on Gunther's car.
yeah, So now with AJ retiring this year, most likely, we're going to see the same thing, and then we have a new gimmick here with Gunther, where he's just retiring people left and right. And like you said earlier, then the next big baby face will come along, and he'll be the guy that eventually beat Gunther,
Mm-hmm.
and that will get that guy over even more so. And that's the psychology of wrestling.
And it better not be Jey Uso.
No,
Better not
it'll
be
be a
Jey
new
Uso.
kid. No, it'll be a new talent. It'll be an up and coming talent. Maybe Joe Hendry. I don't know. I don't even think it would be him.
Joe Hendry.
That was his name. I was sure he wasn't here.
That was one of that was our predictions for an entry into the Last Time Is Now tournament, but he never showed up.
Well, on Saturday night's main event, The Miz came out and was pissed because he was taken out, and somebody else got given a spot, and then Joe Hendry was supposed to be in it apparently, and then he came out. And because they said his name, and so he was supposed to be in it, storyline wise, but it was a good filler spot where Miz got beat up by R-Truth and Joe Hendry. But anyway, I do believe he's going to retire AJ Styles, and he's going to retire Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton, which is the peak of this gimmick, because Randy Orton was the legend killer, and now Gunther's the legend killer. So that's the peak, and that's where then you have the face come back or come up from the NXT ranks and get over and get that victory over Gunther. Yeah. Maybe it's with the help of some of these legends that he retires. Who knows? That's a big rub right there,
Yeah.
But obviously they have a long-term game plan here, because it wasn't just, the victory over Cena, because the next night they rolled right into AJ Styles. So they've got this long-term thing going, which is great. And the foresight to know where they are going with this, to make it work. And they got to baby it and make sure that they don't drop the ball. But so far, so good.
Yeah. We'll have to tune into next week's Raw
to find out how this will develop,
and
Gunther's must see now. Gunther's must see.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what you were saying. Now I have to tune in next week to see how this is going to develop.
Yep.
Is Gunther going to attack AJ Styles, or is he got banned from the arena? So now what's going to happen? And when somebody gets banned from the arena, you still stay tuned in, because is he going to come back in the main event or later in the night to attack somebody else? Because that's, pro wrestling. That's being banned from the arena doesn't mean anything really, So, I mean, they're doing it right.
Yeah, I agree. Well, they're doing that right. What do you think they're doing wrong?
With who?
With anything. Do you think they're doing wrong with anything in general? Maybe anything that happened in Raw or whatever?
No, I thought Raw the night after was a solid show, top to bottom. I like that there. I don't know if the injury to LA Knight's legit or not. Either way, if it is, ouch, and I hope he's okay. If it's at work, then that's great to keep him out until the Rumble. And of course,
have him win it.
Bronson Reed is in the ring, and next out is LA Knight. He comes down and he beats the shit out of Bronson Reed and tosses him over the rope. And that's your Mania match, is Bronson Reed and LA Knight.
Unless LA Knight wins.
No, I don't see LA Knight winning that.
Who do you see winning the Rumble?
Still Braun Breaker.
Okay.
So the match on January 5th, I think it is. Is it January 5th? Is him and Punk? That's gonna be a hot match, man, and that's gonna kind of get the feel for him and Punk. for a main event at Mania. I think that LA Knight winning that, who's he going to challenge? Him challenging Punk doesn't make any sense. Two baby faces, unless Breaker, wins against Punk on January 5th. But him challenging Rhodes doesn't make sense either, unless Rhodes turns heel. So I think you need Braun Breaker to win the Royal Rumble, and he challenges Punk, of course, a rematch, and he goes over in the main event at Mania. Love to see Braun Breaker walk out of Mania with the world title.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But I'm still going with Braun Breaker, who I called months ago, and I still think that this would have been his moment to turn if Seth Rollins hadn't got hurt. But now things have changed. I don't think that the idea of him not winning the Rumble, has changed. But
what if Gunther wins the Rumble? If he's in it.
Yeah, Gunther could, and he challenges Cody maybe.
Or Punk,
and then Punk retires.
Gunther could be one of those guys, but I think no matter what, I think Gunther's going to be. I think his match at Mania is going to be the AJ Styles retirement match, or maybe even a Brock Lesnar retirement match. And I think that's what you keep Gunther going for right now is in these moments of non-titles but big time storyline matches.
Yeah,
and that's the thing with WWE is like they're creating this interest in Gunther, and it doesn't involve a title at all. It's completely its own storyline, and that's something they got to do with other wrestlers too. Is create these other scenarios that, while they're not, because there's so many people on the roster right now, and there's only so many titles. You don't want to create more titles because that just dwindles everything down, like AEW's done. But if you create other storylines that just keep your interest and keep their own separate little bubble, everybody wins.
Yeah,
and that was the genius of the Attitude Era. As much as people don't like Vince Russo, I thought he did great. I thought he did wonderful, creating a storyline for everybody and keeping everybody important. And if you do, then none of the shows is missable. Everything is must watch, and they're on the right track right now. I think these last couple of weeks, and going in the right direction with the promos and the backstage stuff. You see more of that, and just in general, the in-ring work has been better too. I mean, we saw Maxine Dupree come back for her first match with, oh my gosh, I forget her name.
Ivy Nile.
Gosh, yeah, that was a great match. I was solid. Maxine has improved for sure. And it was a good win for her. It was a great first win for the Intercontinental title, and they're putting importance onto that belt now. They didn't just have Maxine Dupree have these videos of her and Natty training for weeks for no reason. It's because she's the Intercontinental champion now, and it's this important where she's got to really hone her craft and and putting the emphasis on the belts that these people do have, and the people that need the belt. Is what really is going to make people tune in more.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing worse than putting a belt on somebody that doesn't need it, and then somebody who could benefit from it just dwindles in the mid card, and standing there just like, what am I doing? So making everybody important is huge.
Yeah, agreed. I think Maxine Dupree looks like a phenomenal wrestler. She's got the build. She's got it, and yeah. So I watched a little bit of her match. I thought it was pretty good, but yeah.
I think she's going to have some great matches down the line with some of the other talents that are more technically sounded.
Yeah.
Not that the match wasn't a technical match. It had some good moves, but she's definitely broadened her horizons and her repertoire, so it's good.
Yeah, agreed. But the other women's title wielder is Stephanie Vaquer. I always get twisted on how it's pronounced, but versus Raquel Rodriguez again, right? This is like, didn't they wrestle last week?
Yeah,
okay,
I think so. This for the title, though. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a great match. Not too impressed.
No.
Why?
Because I've already seen this match. Why are you giving me stuff I've already seen? You know?
Yeah.
Plus, the outcome wasn't even different. You just had Nikki Bella show up again to mess it up. We all know Nikki Bella's going to be up against Stephanie Vaquer, so why don't you just get to that already? You know?
Well, I'm hoping this really signifies a turn for Raquel Rodriguez.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because she's got to have a belt on her by Mania. She looks the part. She's huge. She can work, and she's good on the mic too.
Yeah.
So she's got everything going for her. I think taking a belt off somebody will propel her. Maybe she's gonna go against Maxine. Or
she wins the Rumble.
She absolutely could win the Rumble, being that all. Those bigger, taller people end up having more success in the Rumble. Diesel, Kane, Taker, those guys, because they've got more presence, and it's the idea of getting them over the rope is harder,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Interesting.
I just don't like the Devil's Kiss move. I think that's one of the dumbest moves I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's just dumb because you get to see her ass, but that's it.
That's it.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. But yeah, then we got the Usos.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
And then the final match, Logan Paul, Rey Mysterio.
Who do Usos go against? Let's just give him a second here.
The New Day.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Anyways, Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. there's the second thing. Yeah. Listen, okay, the Usos, they got we know why they're back together, and it's only to make Jey Uso turn heel. That is the only reason.
Why is Jimmy Uso wearing black trash bags as gear? I don't understand.
It's a homage to his wife, right? Doesn't she wear trash bags?
Oh, no. But
I thought she wore trash bags and caution tape or something.
Yeah. No, her gear was cool, but
yeah,
his gear just looked like trash bag, man. It's just like, come on.
I don't know.
Again,
whatever.
If you guys are going to be together, you guys are brothers, first of all. You guys should be wearing similar gear.
Yeah.
And when tag teams don't wear the same gear, it's doesn't work.
AJ Styles and Dragon Lee.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, but whatever. And then finally, Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio.
Well, hang on, let's talk more about Jey Uso. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I was like, let's end the show. Yeah, Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. I actually thought this match was pretty good.
Absolutely.
Any match Logan Paul's in is always going to be phenomenal. I think he's one of the best wrestlers on the roster that nobody talks about because it's Logan Paul. And I think he's so phenomenal in that ring. And then, we had during this match, we had the rest of the Vision come out and try to help, and then we had CM Punk give probably the most lightest and friendliest chair shots I think I've ever seen anybody take. It was so bad.
Those were softer than the time I smashed Rick Bassman over the head with a metal clipboard. I made sure I didn't hurt him because some believe you should be, going across the head too difficult, too hard. But those were in the back. Lay him in the back, man. You know?
It was terrible. It looked so bad, but whatever. And then we get the reveal of the masked man.
Well, hold on. So the match goes on, and for the reveal, though, he comes into the ring. Mysterio's about to give us 619 or something like
He's
that.
about to use the brass knuckles that Logan Paul was going to use.
That's right. Heyman passed the brass knucks to Logan Paul. Logan goes in. Mysterio hits him. He drops him. Then Mysterio sees him, goes to go pick him up, right?
And then the masked man comes over, curb stomps Rey Mysterio on the apron, and the masked man stares at Logan Paul. Logan Paul stares back. Logan Paul asks, "Who are you?" The masked man runs off, and the masked man waits on the steps for Logan to win, because Logan pins Rey Mysterio, and then the masked man reveals himself to be
John Cena.
John Cena, and he's back. He's not retired. No, it was Austin Theory, which everybody thought from the beginning.
A lot of people did. I was hoping to be somebody maybe, coming back from being away from the company for a long time.
So did everybody in that crowd, because nobody popped.
Yeah. Well, the reveal was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was whatever reveal, and I feel like we knew who they were going to reveal him because the mask was already different. So I was like, oh, so they're gonna take it off, and they're gonna reveal who it is at some point, and they did, and I was just like, this kind of doesn't excite me at all.
Yeah, it was an underwhelming reveal. I think that when you're going to do a reveal like this, what you do before the reveal should be very monumental.
Yeah,
to get that heat. But you just costed Rey Mysterio a match who's, against Logan Paul, who
I feel like some people forget Rey Mysterio's even on the roster anymore.
Absolutely. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was the wrong match to have, in my opinion. I get what they were trying to do. It was like, Rey's a institution. He's been around for so long, but that's part of the reason why nobody really cared. I don't think. But I think more than a curb stomp was needed. I think if he had the ref took a bump, Logan's down, this guy comes in, does a bunch of moves to him, and not just a curb stomp, but maybe a move of somebody else who's not there, and then another move of somebody else who's not there. And now you're like, holy shit, who is this? But destroy the guy that's in the ring. Get some heat. You just did what you just did for the last few weeks that nobody really cared too much about, and expected to get monumental heat when you do the reveal, and that's just not the right way to go about it.
Agreed.
That's what they did, and now we know who it is, and he's got to come in hot and heavy next week with a big promo as to the why. Is he a part of the vision? This is a Paul Heyman thing. Are they going to put the credit to Paul, and he's just beefing up the vision right now, and that's where we're going with this. I don't know. We'll have to see. Tune in to find out.
I don't know either. I honestly don't care. I'm focused on Gunther. I want to know where Gunther's going. I everything else doesn't matter to me. I'm still going to tune in and watch it just to hopefully get surprised. But I don't know. Austin Theory, whatever. It's not a guy that I think I've seen too much from. So
I like him. I think he's great talent. I think he's good on the mic. He's been out for a while. They saddled him with the other guy from New Day for a bit. What was his name?
Grayson Waller.
Yeah, which I thought was awful. So to go from that then to the masked guy and the vision, it's a bit of a leap. you know, but they can make it work. Redemption is a hell of a thing, and next week he can redeem himself with a great promo on as to why he's now with Paul and those guys, and it's a whole new era for him if he can make it work.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But other than that, you have anything else you want to add? Anything else on the mind? Anything?
No, just sit back and enjoy the shows, man. Just take it for what it is. I mean, like it or don't like it, that's the whole point of wrestling. I went through the years of watching a plumber and a ice hockey player and a guy that skins gators and as characters and all that, a trash guy and a plumber and all those things. But, you take what you can from it and just go along for the ride. It's one of those things, and for people to just constantly just say this is wrong and this is not how I want it to be. It's like you shouldn't have it the way you want it to be.
Yeah,
it should be this emotional roller coaster. That's what wrestling is all about. And we'll see what Gunther comes up with next. But I think that if Edge or Jericho comes back, that one of those, I think having Jericho team up with Gunther or at least be aligned with him, and then Gunther turns on him and retires him, stuff like that is going to be huge for Gunther. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see where the division goes. Braun Breaker, his promos on fire. Punk, his promos on fire.
Yeah, Punk's promo
right
on
now.
Raw. We didn't really talk about that, but it was a good promo.
Oh yeah, it's a great promo. It was a great promo. I mean, making fun of his dad and his uncle and Steiner math and all that. That was hilarious. And that is the old CM Punk, and now we're back to more of an edgy, product. They're kind of dropping more of, some language that typically they don't use, like bitch and all that stuff. And hopefully we see kind of more of that.
It's not being overused. It's being used appropriately.
Right. And I was going to say that. Hopefully they don't overdo it and they use it in the right places. And because then it just gets, like anything else, right? But yeah, wrestling is on the upswing right now. And which is funny because we just lost the biggest star in the last 25 years. But creatively, I think they're on the upswing. And we got the Rumble coming up, which is my favorite event. And, if it keeps going the way it's going, maybe I will pay to watch it. I don't know. They might have changed my mind.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. I would advise you to hold out a little longer, save your money.
Oh yeah, that'd be a game time decision right there.
Yeah, but yeah, I 100% agree with everything you said. Right now, I feel like it's the best time for them to just excel with their writing team and show what they can actually do. There's it's a lot of setup right now, and the payoff needs to be worth it, and I think it's the direction we're heading. I want the payoff to be bigger than Cody Rhodes winning the belt at Mania, because for me that wasn't that big of a deal, but whatever.
Yeah, well, again, part of that is the lead up to the Mania, right? And basically it's just two guys gonna have a match instead of this big build where it's more believable, because this whole Cena heel thing wasn't believable, and
no,
The Rock was more involved with Cody, and it was just a cluster. But I want to see these two guys, like Braun Breaker and CM Punk or whoever it is, right now. Their build up right now to their match on January 5th is the best build up I've seen for a match in a long time. A title match, and that's the kind of thing we need. And next week I want to see something from Braun Breaker or Punk get some heat back, and be backstage, and do something back there where he takes out the Vision one by one or something like that, and then he finally gets the Braun, but then here comes the Vision back again to help save Braun, And so stuff like that, to where you're just building up this tension week after week after week. They don't always have to get their hands on each other, because you do too much which I think they do with Cena and Cody, because of The Rock. They did too much before the Mania main event. What's left to see?
Yeah.
So, do enough to where you're really building that tension up, but you're not giving the house away already, and then it all overflows and explodes at Mania.
That's what would make Mania more impactful. I feel like Mania has lost its impact because of all these pay-per-views and all this. It's just another pay-per-view or PLE, whatever. But I don't know.
Oh.
I think it's heading in the right direction. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
So
Good stuff.
yeah. Well,
That's it.
All right. That's been the Doyledin podcast. Have a good day. Have a good night. Whatever your time zone may be, don't forget to always stay Doyledin. See you guys.